Okay, this video is for the YouTube user Tiffany Doll, and Tiffany wants to know, if you're a beginner, should you be using a rattle doing the rituals you perform? Now, from what I gathered from watching Tiffany Doll's video, she went out and got herself a rattle, and she plans on using it in some of the rituals that she's going to do. And apparently someone advised her not to use the rattle if she's a beginner, because it's going to somehow attract dark entities or negative entities into her ritual space. Now, this is my advice to you, Tiffany. Before you start using your rattle in your rituals, I would go out and buy this little paperback, and it's called Psychic Self-Defense, and it's by Dion Fortune. It's a classic book. I recommend that book to anyone who's interested in magic, the occult, anything along those lines. I would definitely recommend that book. The book is not a classic because it doesn't give you good information. It gives you very good information. Any practicing occultist who has been around for a while either has the book on their bookshelf or has read the book. So I would definitely recommend you reading that book or similar books, so you can have an idea on what to do if you find yourself in that situation. Now, things like rattles and drums and different intonations of your voice that you use during rituals, they open doors. And rattles, for me personally, really help open doors into the spirit realm. So if you use a rattle during your ritual, yes, you are opening a door. The thing is that whenever you open a door doing a ritual, you do stand a chance on having something undesirable come in. It's rare, at least for me it's rare. I haven't had that many experiences where I had to fight off or had to deal with any kind of negative entities doing rituals. As a matter of fact, I would say I haven't had any doing rituals. I've had experiences with negative entities, but never doing ritual though. So I would say it's up to you. From watching your video, you seem like you're very drawn to that rattle that you bought, and I like it. I think it really looks cool. I would say use it in your ritual, but before you even do your ritual, go out and get that book, Psychic Self-Defense, and study it. And if you can't get that book, go to your local library and get a similar book on psychic self-defense and study that, because those type of books really lay the groundwork, the ground rules on what to do if you find yourself in a situation where you have to defend yourself. Also, I would say, if you're just starting out doing rituals, find yourself a good teacher. Find yourself someone who you can trust to do a ritual with. Study under someone if you can. Now, I'm not saying that you should not experiment and do things yourself, but it always helps to do things with people who are more experienced than yourself also. Things like drums, rattles, and other things along those lines, they open doors. And whenever you're doing a ritual and you're opening a door, there's always a chance of some type of undesirable or negative entities coming into your ritual space. So you're always going to have to deal with that on some level. But if you have to deal with that, you want to know what to do. So that's why I recommend the book. Now, this personally, what I would do if I got myself in a situation where I had to deal with a negative entity, it's always good to show that entity that you're not afraid of it and always fight back. The experiences that I had uh, with negative entities, I've always fought back. And a lot of times, I think they don't expect humans to fight back. And a lot of times they would just back off. It's not like those Hollywood movies where you get some big nasty demon, chasing after you, and this demon has, all these weird kind of superpowers or whatever, and you get thrown around the room. It's rarely, like that. Usually, if you just fight back just a little bit, they'll back off. At least that's been my experience. I can't speak for everyone else, but that's been my experience. Um, so, don't be afraid, and if you get yourself in that situation, fight back. Show no fear, because they feed off of fear. If they see that you're afraid, then that's when they'll attack you more, because they feed off of that. But as I said, go out definitely and get that book by Diane Fortune, Jan Fortune, I'm sorry, on psychic self-defense, and use the techniques in that book to ward off or fight any kind of negative entity that you might encounter. And always, when you're doing a ritual, cleanse the area that you're in. Um, in various ways, so you can cleanse the area. Sweep the area. A lot of witches sweep the area before they cleanse it. You can do the lesser banishing rite of the pentagram before you do the ritual. And if you're not familiar with that, there's plenty of YouTube examples of people doing that online. So no excuse. You can definitely find people doing that online and just emulate what they're doing before the ritual. And like I said, usually there's no problems with any kind of negative entities coming into your ritual space. At least for me personally, I haven't had any type of experiences along those lines. Also, you have to consider, when you're doing a ritual, who are you calling into your ritual space? Now, for me personally, I call the ancestors into my ritual space. And the reason why I call the ancestors, because they are the ones who look after you. They're the ones who really, really care about you. And the reason why they care about you is because they're your blood. They care about their bloodline and how that goes on, throughout the ages. So always call on your ancestors. That's, my personal advice. And they will protect you. They won't let the nasty little spirits into your ritual space. So that's, my advice on that. So from what I've seen in watching your video, you seem to be drawn to the rattle that you got. You seem to like it, and you seem to want to use it. And someone, of course, said that, since you're starting out, and you might be a little unfamiliar with doing rituals on a everyday basis, that you might want to not use the rattle, at least at first. And I would say follow your intuition. If you feel drawn to that rattle, you're probably drawn to that rattle for a reason, and for a good reason. It was probably something that your inner self said, hey, use this. This can be an aid to you in the magic that you want to perform. So I would say go ahead and use it. But before you do any type of ritual, if you have this type of doubt about any kind of negative forces or negative entities coming into your ritual space, do research. Do research on how to fight back if you are encountered with any kind of forces like that. And as I said earlier, my advice is when you do a ritual, make sure you cleanse the space, call on the god and the goddess, their directions, the basic standard way on how witches cast circles, and call on your ancestors because those are the ones who will protect you the most because they care about you the most. Let's see, is there anything else that I could relate to you about your rattle and doing rituals? I think that's basically it. Um, Try it out. Let me know what happens. Like I said, before you try it out, do a little research, and I don't think you would have a problem in any of the rituals that you perform. A lot of times when you watch these, silly Hollywood movies, and they always talk about, young people doing rituals, and all of a sudden, evil forces are upon them or whatever. Those movies, to me, they're like scare tactics, almost, to keep people away, or especially young people away from doing rituals, serious rituals. If this is something that you're drawn to, and if you are a witch, I would say, hey, try it, see what happens. But even before you try it, do some research, know what to do if, in fact, you do come across some type of evil entity or dark entity or whatever. Anyway, that's my advice, and I hope to hear from you soon. And Tiffany, if you want to, the best way to contact me is through my Facebook page, and I'm usually there every day. I usually check that every day. I don't check my YouTube account every day. I probably should, but I don't. So that's why it took me a couple of days to answer your message. So anyway, try my advice and let me know what happens. Until next time, love is the law and peace.